You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
The Herons are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fam, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. Free 99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 378 of the Batter Herons podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Ghana, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBUD. How are you doing, sir?
I mean, people are already asking me to bet, Danny, just to guarantee the win. First of all, I didn't even know that. First of all, I didn't even bet last game. Let's just get that out of the way. And we tied. Okay. I didn't even know there was MLS still existing throughout this FIFA Club World Cup. And there's like 1,000 games today.
Yeah, they're playing right now. It's like 11 games on the docket for tonight. And not just that, I forgot that the Gold Cup was going on. The United States is like top of their group. They got 9 points. And I haven't watched one of those games. The Club World Cup has consumed me. And I completely forgot that there's MLS being played, that the Gold Cup is being played on the other side of the country, literally. And honestly, it's haven't paid attention to any of it because it's just been all about the Club World Cup.
No, not one bit. Not one bit. I don't even know what's happening aside from Club World Cup.
So, real quick, I want to send a shout out to Blake22. Let me make sure that I get the 22 part right, but I believe it's Blake22 from our Discord came through and suggested Blake B22 and suggested somebody that we should invite over as a PSG contributor to tomorrow's preview. And that person did come through. We do have a guest for tomorrow, and PSG INT, like a lot of people wanted, he never responded. I sent him a direct message. I actually went and commented on one of his tweets to see if he would come back. But, and there he is. Shout out to Blake. He didn't respond. So he's not going to come on. We reached out to a few PSG people, a lot of them not responding. I have a feeling that a lot of them are scared. And not that they should be. Yes, I think because.
What's nothing to lose?
Right,
exactly. We have nothing to lose. They have everything to lose.
So they could come and talk crap, but a little part of them is like, man, but if we don't pull this off, this is going to be really bad. It's going to be the biggest upset in
world history.
Yeah, man. It's going to be really big. Yeah.
Internationally, it would be an embarrassment. Like if you think Boca Juniors are going through it because they tied against Auckland.
Yeah.
Like Inter Miami beats PSG. It is an embarrassment internationally for like League One is already garbage. Inter Miami beats PSG. That whole league, just throw it in the trash can.
Well, and real quick, now that you brought up Boca, and we're gonna do a little house cleaning and talk about a couple of other things before we talk about the game. But now that you brought up Boca, I'm gonna repeat what I said before. I really do think that Inter Miami should participate in Copa Libertadores. Like Miami can compete with just about every club in South America that doesn't play in Brazil and Argentina. And I think that they could give the Argentinian teams a run for their money and Brazil possibly also. So I think that they should just let them run out there. Look, everybody thought that they'd get their ass kicked in this tournament. And so far, so good. So I think that they should be included in the Copa Libertadores moving forward. And if anybody's talking about like the travel and how difficult it is with the travel and whatnot, just so you know, a flight from Miami to Buenos Aires is about 9 hours. A flight from here to Vancouver is like 7.5. So I get it's still an extra hour and a half, but we travel that far just for regular season games. Like travel isn't a big deal for MLS clubs.
Look at this, Danny. Honest Review Without Money is saying we don't need any trophy this season. The FIFA Club World Cup is the biggest achievement. I didn't even think about this. Now that like we're in the Sweet 16. Is that okay? You want to leave it for later then?
No. We can talk about it right now. No, if we were to somehow win or make it to the final,
would we need the MLS Cup?
No, if you win this tournament, you no longer need the MLS Cup. If you win this tournament,
it's one and done this year.
You're good. Now it's house
money. Good then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you win this tournament, you no longer need the MLS Cup. You know, it's MLS Cup or bust. If you win this tournament, all of a sudden you're good. So, and then Sean saying we should not be in the Copa Libertadores at all. I disagree. I think take us out of Leagues Cup, take us out of Champions Cup, take us out of Open Cup, take us out of all of those and put us in Copa Libertadores. Why not?
I want to know the chat, guys. Do you think if we win the CWC, like, is that it? We don't need MLS Cup. We don't need Leagues Cup. We don't need
Jason
Supporter Shield.
He said if we knock out PSG, we don't need any trophies. I disagree.
So no trophies, but we knock out PSG.
You can't at mid-December, looking back at the season, have no trophies and then hang up a banner that says we beat PSG. Like, you can't do that. You need a trophy. You need a trophy.
Abhishek Jose is saying if we win this tournament, we shut the club and enjoy it for the rest of our lives. Yeah, Mike V saying maybe come for a treble. Mike V enemy.
Yeah, but no. We need a trophy. If we get this trophy, that's it. You don't have and no pressure to win anything else.
Danny, but you can't knock out PSG and say that's it, according to Mike V.
Yeah, but if for some reason you don't win, whether it be an injury, a bad call, a red card, whatever it might be, you don't need. It's not MLS Cup or bust anymore. Now you can look at it like, okay, did they get outplayed? Did they get out hustled? Like right now, we don't care what happens. There's no excuses. You need to win the MLS Cup. I don't care if Messi, Busquets, Jordi Alba, and Luis Suarez all get injured at the same time. This team needs to win the MLS Cup. I don't care how it is. No excuses. If you win the Club World Cup, all the excuses in the world. If you didn't win it and you have a good reason as to why you didn't win it, that's fine. We got the Club World Cup.
All right, so let's get the housekeeping done because I feel like we're putting the carriage in front of the horse right now.
All right. So, two things. One that I forgot to bring up yesterday. Fabrizio Romano went out and and reported that Neymar has extended in Santos until December. Until the end of the Brazilian League, which means he is now a free agent, able to sign anywhere during the MLS offseason, right before the opening of Miami Freedom Park. Now, I know a lot of Inter Miami fans do not want Neymar more than anything because of his injuries history. I get it. Yeah. But the fact that he only signed until the end of this season, and I've been saying that I've predicted it. You can go back 2 years. I've been saying Neymar is going to be here 2026. I'm starting to think it's going to happen again.
Well, I mean, we would be, in good shape if that was to happen in terms of having another player come on. Jason L's asking here, quick question. Did you guys renew season tickets? Yes.
I did last month. And I already made my first payment. Yeah. They're quick with that shit.
I did. I did about a week and a half ago. I renewed about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
We're not sitting together anymore.
No, not too far, but we're not in the same section any longer.
Nope. So that was the first thing. I do think Neymar's going to end up here in 2026. Good evening, Stancy. And then the next thing is that today they announced the MLS All-Stars. Now, for some reason, Jordi Alba made it. I don't know why. And then, obviously, Lionel Messi made it.
Of course. You think he's going? You think he's going?
That was my question. Do you think there's any chance that Messi actually plays in the All-Star game this year?
Look, I would think he would, right? Wasn't he selected last season?
Yeah.
So
and he put a picture of himself on a yacht with Luis Suarez while the All-Star game was going on.
Yes. So I would think that he'd show up to this one. Where is it, by the way? Does anybody know?
That's a good question.
Like that, I think that makes a difference. And just to kind of
this was in Columbus and he didn't go, and it's not far.
Mike V says I didn't renew because I refused to give them my money. Jason L saying
don't let Solana hear you because Solana will kill you for not going.
Jason L said we just did ours. New section for us is 107. Oh, so you moved over to the other side. I moved to the opposite side of you, Jason. And Danny is staying exactly where our section was.
What section are you, Chris?
111.
Oh, okay. So I'm right smack in between both of you guys.
Yes, right there. But you're basically maintaining the same area. Okay, wait, look, Danny, Jason L saying Austin. Soccer
Austin,
Daddy's
yeah.
saying Austin, so it's going to be in Austin.
It's in Austin.
Sure, why not? Sure, I think he'll make it. I mean, he can't blow them off 2 years in a row.
Why not?
Wow. So it's a waste. It's a waste of a pick, then, Danny.
That gives a chance to have somebody replace him. Give somebody else an All-Star.
Danny, you're telling me that Lionel Messi is gonna blow them off 2 years in a row, back to back?
Would that surprise you?
I mean, it would surprise me. I mean, the first blow off, I get it. There was the issue with the injury, and there was issues with the Argentina coming up. Like, there was a lot of stuff brewing around that. Like, what's brewing around this?
I will tell you that I don't know. I think that there's a chance that he goes.
I mean,
but
Sean, come on.
But if he doesn't go this year, I don't know if they're gonna have an All-Star game next year. I'd assume that they will. If he doesn't go this year, he definitely ain't going ever. Because next year he's got the World Cup in the middle of the year. Like, there's no chance he plays next year's, if there is one. I don't know if they call it off because of the World Cup. But I really do believe that if there's ever a chance that he will ever play, and by the way, they haven't announced anything, but I would assume that the All-Star game is going to be in Miami in 2027. Right? You got a brand new spanking stadium in Miami.
Yep, I could see.
I have a feeling that would be, and then maybe, hey, Messi still plays against Miami. Maybe he plays then, right? It's in Miami. But I haven't heard anything. But no, I don't know if he plays. If he's going to play, I think that it'll be this year. I don't think there's no chance he plays next year.
Well, Stancy's saying if it's on his contract, he'll go. But I mean, it would have been in the contract last season, no? And
remember what you guys said about last game. He was getting treatment. He looks like he might be a little not 100% healthy. You think he's going to go? He's going to say that he's not 100% healthy if he's not. You think that he's going to risk at all any chance of not being 100% healthy to go play in an All-Star game? I don't think so.
What does this even mean, Danny? Mr. Krabs is saying Messi's too good to be in an All-Star game. That's the purpose of the All-Star game, for the good guys to go and play soccer. And shout out to Kara, catching us live, said, I watched Las Gatas in the last two shows today, the past two shows today. Now catching you guys live. Vamos. Let's go,
Absolutely
baby.
Love that. I appreciate you, Kara. Yes. All right. So that was the housekeeping. Now, let's get to the business at hand. We are 13 minutes in. So if anybody clicked to get the can we win or how we're going to win, we're going to get into it now. Let's start with the very simple question. Is there any hope? I ask you, give me a percentage, chat. And I want you to give me the number percentage that Miami does win. Chris, is there any hope of us winning on Sunday?
I mean, if you have the best player on the planet in Messi, there's hope, right? I mean, there's always hope when you have Messi. And then on top of that, I feel like with the trajectory that we've taken in this tournament and the way that we've been playing, like this is this is basically a 180 from how we were playing before this tournament. So I feel kind of confident about where we can be able to, how we can cause destruction against PSG. And look, it's a no-win situation for PSG.
You know what? Before last month, I would have never gotten this reference, Kara. But I am now. My family's a full Star Wars fan since May 4th. So, yes, 15% like Palpatine rising again in Star Wars. That was completely out of nowhere, by the way, when I was watching the last couple movies.
I don't appreciate Stancy's comment because I'm going 80% we win this.
Okay, people aren't going to take you seriously then.
What do you mean they're not going to take me? I can't have an opinion of
because that's not a serious opinion.
Yeah, what do you mean? Any opinion is right.
Chris, that's not true because there's opinions that you take seriously and there's some that you don't. If the U.S. men's national team goes and they play against Colombia, in a competitive game, in a tournament that counts, and you come out, or I come out as a Colombian, I'm like 80% chance that Colombia beats the U.S. men's national, the American basketball team. You're going to look at me and be like, yeah, you're allowed to have an opinion, but can you really take my opinion seriously after that?
Listen, 11 on 11. It's like what Mascherano says. Anybody can win that game.
Yes, I understand that. But
people,
80%, what you're saying is that Inter Miami is far and away the superior team to say 80%.
I'm not saying they're far and away the superior team.
If you're saying 80%, you're saying that they're far and away better. That's how the percentages work. Once you pass the 50% mark, unless there's like some type of home field advantage or anything, that's basically what you're saying.
80% based on what, Isaiah? Based on Messi. Okay. Is that enough to bump up my percentage? Let's go, Soccer Daddy.
Well, I think that's why everybody's giving them a puncher's chance.
Well, but you're giving them the puncher's chance is like giving him 10%. Like, oh, well, you have 10% if you catch them slipping.
Absolutely.
Like, no, this team has been playing very well.
The other way.
But the team has been playing very well within this tournament. A complete 180 from before this tournament. We were playing like garbage. Chris, now we're hitting a stride.
No. Let's be very clear. You beat the best team in Africa, which I understand. That's cute. They have like 100 trophies, but
yes,
they aren't one of the top teams in Europe. The European teams come and they kick them in the butt. Okay. Then you beat Porto, which had one of the worst years they've had in recent history. They haven't been good this year. They qualified because of the last.
But we beat them. But we beat them.
That's fine. We did beat them.
We beat them spiritually.
Porto was coming off of one of the worst years they've had. Yes, we beat them, but they're coming off of one of the worst years. We're playing against a PSG team that just had their best season ever.
Look, listen, LA Galaxy just had their best season ever last season. Where are they? They're in the trash can. That's where they are.
What does that have? They lost Ricky Puig. With their best players coming back for this game.
Listen, supposedly Dembele is not going to be playing that many minutes. I don't know. I could give you the same math. You just gave me PSG greatest of all time. Oh my God, best in the world. And I just told you LA Galaxy has taken a dump.
LA Galaxy?
They are the dump.
They are the MLS team.
Listen, I gave you wanted the math. I gave you a little bit of math.
That was horrible math. It didn't even make sense to me. I'm having a hard time computing what you just said because it made no sense. How do you compare PSG to the LA Galaxy?
I'm just saying LA Galaxy was the best in the league, won the championship, MLS Cup, yes. And then now they're garbage.
I don't even know what to say.
And Hammy, let's go, Hammy. We got Messi. It is what it is. We got this in the bag.
But that's why we believe that we have a chance. Is there hope? I think so. Yes. I do think there's hope. Do I say, oh my God, 100% PSG is going to win? We have zero chance. At no point did I say that. If I had to give it a percentage, I'd say Miami has 15% chance of winning, 20% chance of winning. I think they have a fighting chance. If you hold a low block, you can keep them out of goal, make life very difficult for them, and then you can get one or counter. You know, anything can happen. Between those white lines in a 90-minute game, anything can happen. I am 100% sure that at some point over the last 2 seasons, PSG lost a game that they should have won. I am 100% sure of that. But this game matters.
You want to know what scares me is the fact that they hold so much possession against every opponent that they've played. That's kind of what scares me. Like, we got to be on point with the counters.
But Miami has to play that. They have to be prepared to play without the ball, to hold a low block, and to play for the counter. And that's what we're going to get into, the tactics, the formations, the starting a lineup. For anybody that wanted to hear about Inter Miami this coming game, that's what we're here for today. We're going to talk about what we think Miami should do and could do to have a chance to win. And tomorrow night, we're going to preview the PSG side with our guests and have them tell us about PSG.
Let me tell you, Danny, you need to hold off real quick. I need you to read this comment by Hammy right now. I need you to read this. No, you're not going to do it. I'll read it for you, Poppy. It says, dude, Allen is going to smoke that Dembele pack.
Do you think Jordi Alba starts?
Possibly. Maybe I left wing.
Because if Jordi Alba doesn't start, then Noah Allen's at left back, and then you have Falcon trying to keep up with Dembele.
I'm just telling you maths. I'm mathing with you. There's hope.
Blueberry, Danny, zero confidence? No, I'm just being realistic. And this is the thing, though, and this is what's so annoying. If something happens, right? And like I said about 20% chance, which means it's possible. But this is what happens. Chris talks a lot of crap. If for some reason Miami somehow pulls off this victory, Chris is going to come out here like, I knew it.
Because I did know it. Because I knew it. I called it.
So
everybody else is saying we're going to lose. Everybody else is saying basically right now, good game, guys. Great participation trophy. Welcome, welcome to the game against PSG. Have your fun. And don't worry, you guys aren't really going to beat them. Like, no. They're competitors, dude.
And Ronaldo Stewart saying Dembele isn't playing. That's not what I'm hearing. I keep hearing that he will be playing. So,
and Mr. Krabs is saying Chris does not sound like that, Daniel.
I think he does.
No, not at all.
That's what I hear.
No.
All right. So before we get into tactics, formations, all other stuff, Messi revenge. Do you think that Messi's going into this thinking about the revenge factor against PSG?
How many? And I don't know this. Maybe some people can tell.
By the way, Chris, you have ChatGPT on your cell phone.
Well, I mean,
I don't want you to use it yet. And I was talking to people on the Discord about this earlier today. Before this show is over, chat, please don't let me forget. Chris, don't let me forget. We have to go in there, and I want to chat GPT. How can Inter Miami beat PSG? I want to see what chat GPT says before we sign off today. I don't want to do it yet.
I got it loaded right here. Okay. Right. I got it loaded. So as soon as you're ready, I'll press enter.
All right. I mean, I'm sure that people in the chat might do it before you, but when you get to do it, I want to hear what ChatGPT has to say about Inter Miami's chances and what Inter Miami has to do.
I should ask, what's the percentage?
I'll just go with the Vegas odds, probably. All right, so Messi revenge. Now, a lot of PSG fans, because obviously I've been looking into a lot of PSG accounts, trying to find the guests, whatnot. A lot of PSG fans and accounts are saying that this is a revenge game for PSG because they feel that Messi did them dirty. I saw a PSG INT tweeted Messi will pay for his crimes against PSG.
Crimes.
So PSG fans, at least, maybe not the players so much, but the fans are looking at this as a revenge game against Messi. Do you think Messi has the same mentality going into this game?
I think that Messi doesn't care about I don't think he cares about the whole revenge deal versus PSG. I mean, he didn't enjoy his time there, just from kind of what I've gathered.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and one thing I was going to ask is how many players on that team were the players that were playing with him?
A few.
Because that would be, I guess, I don't know if that would help the revenge or hurt the revenge. Like, is he cool people with them? And Hammy's saying, you know, Messi doesn't give a F about that.
Really, I feel like Messi, although he is mild-mannered and doesn't talk a lot, right? He'll downplay everything. I think he holds that stuff. Don't you remember what he did to the Mexican fans? When he said 3.
Oh, yes.
And then you 0. Like, come on. Messi, you think Messi doesn't hold on to grudges? James had an interview last year where he went ahead and said, oh, the refs, I think, helped Argentina in that final. He waited until the following year and waited for the opportunity with a stop of play to go up and approach James and reprimand him. And he almost made James cry. So don't tell me that Messi doesn't hold on to those things. Messi does.
I mean, but what does he hold?
He does it quietly. He downplays it. He's not very public about it, which I like. I like that he does it. But don't think that he's not thinking about it.
And Soccer Daddy is saying, yeah, he holds grudges. Messi FC is saying the James interview was this year.
All elite athletes are like that. Yeah, I agree. He may not say it. He's not going to come on and say it, but a little part of him wants to shut up those PSG fans. And then Mike V Enemy saying PSG fans will boo Messi all game. How many PSG fans do you think are going to show up? I don't think that there are many PSG fans showing up to games. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there are.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, look, I imagine that there's a good amount of PSG fans in the United States that are willing to travel to see Messi and PSG at the same time. And not only that, but like Atlanta's a pretty big like airport. I would think that like flights to and from France aren't that expensive, I guess.
I don't know.
What?
At no point that I consider the size of the airport for that, but yeah.
Well, it's like one of the major airports on the East Coast.
It's the largest one. It's the biggest hub for sure.
Yeah. I'm just because if they go to Miami, I don't know. Do they go straight to Miami? Do they fly into? I've never made flights like that.
And Sean is saying it's not just PSG, it's also France because Messi took that World Cup from them just 3 years ago now?
Ooh, yes.
So, all right. So I do think that Messi holds that. I think he's going to play with a little chip on his shoulder. That's why I'm expecting at least, whether it be win or loss, I expect Messi to get to the back of the net at least once. But we'll see. But I really do feel like Messi is maybe the word isn't revenge, but he's out. He's got a chip on his shoulder. So, and I think, even though he has some familiar faces, their coach Luis Enrique, he gets along with them. My understanding, right? He likes him. He played under him, so I mean, it's not going to be all hate, but you know, he knows the fans that root for PSG, and he wants to shut them up.
But you know what I also think is that I think he wants to prove that he can lead a team to the international, like, I don't know, like the teams that they're playing against, right? Like this is higher level stuff.
Messi FC is saying, asking, do you think Messi celebrates really hard if he scores with PSG? It depends. If there's a big contingency of PSG fans and they're talking crap to him throughout the game, I promise you, after he scores, he goes and he does something.
Yeah,
he signals with his hands something. But if PSG fans are scattered and it's just a regular game, no, I don't think it's anything special. But if there's like a pocket of big fans and they're in the area and they've been talking crap, yes, I do. He's done it. Do you not remember the Bernabeu? Oh, you might not remember, but no. In a Clásico, James scored a goal. Real Madrid ties the game. It's like the 80-something minute. And like a minute or two later, on a counter, Messi scores, takes off his kit, holds up the back of it, and holds it towards the fans. Like that's spicy Messi, and I love that Messi. So, yes, if there's a big group of PSG fans somewhere, I wouldn't doubt that he's going to somehow celebrate to piss them off. But if there isn't, then no, I don't think so.
But look at this. Messi FC is saying he's friends with players like Donnarumma, Hakimi, Fabian Ruiz, etc.
That's what I was saying. There's some friendly faces out there. Yeah. The coach, I think it's more the fans that of PSG than the players.
I don't like friends in sports, to be honest.
I think if the match was played in Paris, absolutely. Yeah. If it was played in Paris and he scored, oh yeah, he would let the fans have it for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll be passionate.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Tactics and formations. So I did have a little back and forth with our guest for tomorrow before, and I did find out a little information about PSG. All right, and PSG is one of those teams that you watch throughout the year because of Champions League, right? But to get a better understanding, I was curious, and I asked like what they had been struggling with throughout the year. So obviously he's going to give us a lot more detail tomorrow. But there are two things that stood out to me when I was having my conversation with him. One of them, he says they're not physical. They're a finesse team. They're fast. Yeah. They're one of those, they're a fast team.
Pacey, very pacey.
Right. They're very pacey, but they're not physical. So they have a difficult time if somebody gets physical with them. So keep that in mind when we're putting together our starting 11 because we need some physical players, even though we're injured. And number two, they've improved, but throughout the season, they have struggled with set pieces. We have the set piece king and Messi. So those are two things to keep in mind when you're trying to convince yourself that Miami has a chance. Now, again, we're going to find a lot more details about PSG tomorrow with our guests, but for now, that's the info we got. So going based off of that, tactics and formations. Now, let me just say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Xavier de las Garças was with us yesterday, and he says that he believes that Inter Miami should come out with a back five. Chris, what do you think we should be looking into this game as far as formation and tactics?
I don't know if a back five is going to be beneficial, especially if they're pacey. I don't see that as an
true
advantage.
Back five might be, because usually you say back five, but it's really back three, and then the fullbacks push up pretty high, wing backs, I guess you could say. But I think you got like a real five in the back.
But we're scarce at the center back position. Like, we don't even know like if Lujan is ready. And we're thinking about a back five. Like, you're essentially going to start all your center backs, and then you're going to have like Ryan Saylor ready on the bench.
That's the backup,
yeah. So like that's kind of scary. I don't think that's going to happen.
And you would need Jordi Alba to start. So
absolutely. You'd have for that to work. Yeah, you would need Jordi Alba on the left, Noah Allen left center back. You'd need Toto in the middle, Falcon on the right center back, and then you'd have Cello on the right back, right? Yeah. Like Frey's not playing, right? Other than that, I mean, David Martinez.
I don't know if he's healthy. I know we're not re-signing him, so if he's healthy, might as well throw him out there. But I don't. I
mean, David Martinez and who else? And Saylor.
And Saylor.
Those are your center backs that you have on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be a disaster.
Okay.
Like, defensively, I think it would be like structurally good, because we wouldn't allow, much
space.
Yeah, we wouldn't allow much space. We wouldn't allow much comfortability for PSG. It'd be locked down back there. But at the same time, like, we've been seeing Toto, he got a yellow card. He's been coming out the game. We got Noah Allen, who's been playing every game, what feels like, this whole year, in both left back and left center back positions. Falcon is hot and cold, right? He's been great in some instances and a liability.
This tournament, I think this tournament he's been great.
He's been great this tournament, but again, he can be a liability. So
yes, we've seen it in the video we made with all the goals that we've allowed this season. But I think this tournament he's been great.
Well, I mean, look, Gail is saying 5 in the back would just make them shoot from long, and they have great shooters like Guevara, Dembele, Vitinha, etc.
Okay. Well,
and Hammy's saying Boosie will get killed on the counter.
I don't think we should go back five. I just wanted to put that out there because I figured that you wouldn't say that either, but I wanted to put it out there for Xavier because Xavier did say that he would go back five. I don't think we go back five, and I don't think we should go back five. Okay, so we stick to a back four.
I think the issue here is, do you take the system that's been sort of working with Segovia and Ben Krem in the middle, working centrally, and essentially remix it all and start working from the wings for the counters? That's the big question right there. Because essentially what you're going to do is you're going to use Allende, Fafa, and I mean, I don't know who else you would use in that space.
Fafa's not going to start.
Alba?
Okay. As far as the formation goes, we think they go 4 in the back with a double pivot. And I think you and I agree. I think we're going to play a low block. We're going to try to suck them in, right? We're going to bring that Hakimi, Nuno, bring them up high, and let's try our best to counter. They have speed. They can track back to defend the counter, but that's what we got, right? Allende versus Nuno Mendes. Yes, Nuno has shut down big-time players from Salah to just about everybody in the world. He is a stud there at left back. But I think that's when we're talking about right now, we're having a conversation about how do we have a chance? Even though I know you think that we're favorites and that we're going to win. But I'm saying, how could we possibly win this? Like, what would give us the best chance? I think back four, if Jordi Alba starts, Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, would you put Falcon or would you put Toto? Now, I will tell you one benefit of us playing against PSG is that we usually suffer against taller forwards, and they don't have a lot of height on their team.
Yeah.
So we have that going for us, I guess you can say.
So
They
I
don't
guess
have
we
a
can
lot of
start
height.
Falcone.
Outside of Donnarumma, they don't have a lot of height. So you could start Falcone and not worry about getting beat for aerial duels. Okay. And if you maybe for a set piece for us, because like they said, like I told you, he was saying that they struggle with set pieces. Now I didn't get. Now that I think about it, he said they struggle with set pieces. I don't know if it was defending them or scoring on them, but if it was defending them, maybe you put Toto out there. You put a little more height on the pitch since they don't have a lot of height. But so right now we're building our lineup. Ustari, obviously, Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Cello,
Falcone.
and then Falcon or Toto.
I think it'd be good to just ride into the sunset at this moment with Falcone, with the way that he's been performing.
Great. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And if Jordi Alba isn't 100%, Falcon, Toto, and then Noah Allen are left back. And I feel good with both of those decisions. I feel good.
And then Sean Callahan saying you win the small games every 15 minutes. You win the passing game. You win the possession game. Do the small things right every 15 minutes. I get that. I get that philosophy, Sean. But PSG holds the ball for 70+% of every match that we looked at yesterday.
Absolutely.
That's rough.
And Gail said, I think Mash is going to try to copy what Botafogo did. Botafogo just defended for their life after they scored. Now,
yes, they did.
I forgot how they scored, but once they scored, they just defended for their lives. And I think if Inter Miami were to score first, I think Miami will do the same thing. They will just defend for their lives.
So then who's going in the midfield? You know, right, Busquets is starting.
We're playing that double pivot. Now, would you want Cremaki or would you want Redondo? I'll tell you what I want. Because we're not going to be pressing high. Because I don't think that they'll beat the press. Yeah. And we're going to have a hard time getting back on defense. And then Messi FC said a deflected goal. But regardless, they got it in and then they defended. And Botafogo scored on a counter, Soccer Daddy said. I want Redondo in there because whenever we do get possession, I want somebody who's technical and can make the most out of having the ball at their feet. Kremaki, although I think he's improved and he's not as bad as some people for some reason poop on him, I think for this game, to try to get the most out of our midfield and connect the ball and find a Messi and a Suarez like Redondo was doing, like Segovia was doing, I would want Redondo next to Busquets. Now, if Yannick Bright was healthy in this game where we need to defend for our lives, I would want Bright there, but Bright isn't available. I think Redondo is the guy. So I would want Busi, Redondo, and then Segovia. I honestly want the same starting 11 as last game.
So, okay, let me put that up. Let me put that starting lineup up. So here it is, right? So you think that this would be the best lineup, but like, I'm assuming you're going to have Segovia work centrally then.
Of course.
Because so you have him work centrally. I mean, obviously, instead of Aviles there, you'd see Noah Allen in his place and then Jordi Alba at the left back position. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to have Redondo, Busquets playing the double pivot. You'll have Segovia, I guess, move up and towards the middle, I guess.
And Messi FC saying something interesting because I understand why you say that.
I get it. Yes, this is one of the players, Fafa.
But do you think that there's any chance that they would sit Suarez? I don't. And Suarez is coming off of one of his best games.
I don't think it would be for Suarez, though, Danny. I think it'd be for Segovia. Or, if anything, Danny, maybe they'd sit Redondo and put Fafa in. So you keep Segovia and Busquets truly centrally, right? And then from there, you're guaranteeing that Fafa is going to take the wing. So Redondo would not get the start.
Okay.
Because I'd rather start Segovia over Redondo.
You mean there as a double pivot?
As like a double pivot, yes.
And then have Fafa out wide? Yes. I mean, I think
if we're bringing Fafa into the picture.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it because Segovia, I think, can give you what Redondo gives you there. But Fafa would give you an extra threat on the counter. And whether PSG thinks highly of Inter Miami or not, you have to respect Fafa's pace, and you have to respect Allende's pace, which Allende isn't as fast as Fafa. So that would make them respect you a little more. Maybe have Hakimi and Nuno not be able to push up as high. So, okay, I could see something like that.
We're getting a good contribution here from the chat.
Shout out to Messi FC. I don't remember ever seeing you on here, at least on the live. So shout out to you for joining us today.
I like that, and he's throwing out some really good names here. That's not named Messi, only Messi.
But shout out to you, Messi FC. I do not see. This is why I think it sucks to have a coach that was at one point teammates and a friend with the players. Now, to be clear, Redfire. I don't know if he is going to, if he's really that friendly with them right now, but I don't think that Mascherano has it in him to sit Suarez, even though he feels like it might help in the long run.
Do you think that maybe it's this right here by Soccer Daddy saying you're asking too much from Fafa? I think that this is it right here.
Well, all we're asking is for him to stretch the field.
But we haven't seen enough from him, I believe, to be able to say that he's going to give us the same contribution that Allende gives. Why'd you bring up Red Fire's comment? I'm trying to get him out of here.
Well, I was going to say that I'm sure Red Fire thought the same thing about Botafogo.
Nice.
But, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that Fafa, although he had a rough go last game, right? When he lost that golden chance that could have kind of nailed that win for us against Palmeiras. He screwed up there, but I think Fafa has been pretty good as a super sub. Do you want him out there for a full game?
We've seen him make contributions with the 10, 12 minutes that he gets off the bench. I don't know if I feel comfortable with him coming on for 80, 90 plus minutes at this point. But it's like honest review right here saying Suarez is the worst player in MLS history. That's a little drastic.
You haven't watched in MLS very long.
It's a little drastic.
Yeah.
But you can't take somebody like Suarez out, guys. You can't do it.
Look, my favorite, because I see some people kind of putting something similar. My favorite formation for this team, which I don't think that it suits us this game because I would like to play with a double pivot, but my favorite formation for this team from now until the end of the season is the 4-4-2, where it's the triangle in the middle, where you have the single defensive midfielder, you have the 2 8s flanking him, you have Messi as a cam, creating for Suarez and whoever else is up top with him, probably Allende. So that's my favorite formation. Now, this game, I don't think that it suits us. I think we need as much defense as possible. Playing both our defensive midfielders have them sitting a little deeper and creating from those positions for the vertical passes of Allende, Segovia, or even Fafa if he plays. I think would be best, but I don't see that helping this one. But yes, I do love the idea of Messi creating for the 2 people ahead of him.
And shout out to Troy Alves here with a $4.99 super duper slam here. Says Fafa is a defensive liability. We need Allende for the low block. That's crazy to say. He's one of our pacier players.
Well, to be fair, Troy, what I think that Chris said, at least what I understood, which I didn't hate, was Allende would still start on the right side. He would put Fafa on the left, and instead of taking Segovia off, he would take Redondo off, and he would put Segovia next to Busquets, which isn't horrible because Segovia on the ball gives you a lot, if not more, than what Redondo does.
Yes, confidently.
So I wouldn't hate to see that.
It's progressive play with Segovia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel as comfortable with like the progressive play from Redondo. Segovia makes these unlocking passes.
Absolutely. Did you see that back heel that he had to Messi where he barely touched the ball? Yeah, like they passed it to him and he quick back heel, Messi caught it on the other side. Like the chemistry between him, Messi, and Suarez, you could see it building. And the more I see them playing together, the better they look.
And Messi FC saying, if not a counter, how can Miami score? Set pieces and counter are Miami's best way to score. Of course, Messi individual brilliance, but still those two are the main ways, in my opinion.
Well, I agree. Look, the guest for tomorrow said that one of their weaknesses, they've improved, but one of their weaknesses throughout the year has been set pieces. And what is Messi's specialty? Those set piece goals. So, yes, I wouldn't doubt that that is absolutely one way we can score. Now, we have to get in position to get fouled in those positions. And I don't know how many times we're going to get those opportunities, because I have a feeling that PSG will hold the ball 60 to 70% of the game.
Danny, special super duper slam from the club. Are we wearing the black jerseys on Sunday? Because it will be a funeral. We're burying these guys. That's the kind of energy I want, Thuck Fong. Let's go. It's to just that portion of the show. They're going to be like, these guys are delusional.
Well, that was a great comment, though.
That is, yeah. I mean,
Sacrifice said we don't score on counters. No, but we score on free kicks.
Oh.
And one thing that I did love, we didn't see it.
Get out of here.
Just
for those on audio, he says, I meant for us, Chris. So I guess he wants to plan a funeral for Inter Miami.
Yeah.
And everybody's just laughing.
One thing that I will say that I did like, we didn't see it against Palmeiras. We saw it against Al Ahly. Luis Suarez taking the corner kicks from the right side.
That's interesting, because he doesn't do anything on the corner anyway.
No, because he's not winning any aerial duels. Like, I think that's something that we got a sneak peek of in the Al Ahly game. We didn't see it in Porto and Palmeiras. I think that's something that we could hopefully see this game. But nonetheless, we said tactics, formations, low block, obviously play the counter like we did against Palmeiras, like we do against Columbus is the only team we do it against in the MLS. I do think that we have a puncher's chance if we can keep them out of goal. I'm very curious what our guest is going to whisper into Mascherano's ear tomorrow. And then we went over the starting 11. So, Chris, before we go to our final thoughts, I told you what I wanted you to do before we get to our final thoughts. Did you hit the enter button yet?
So I have it here. I haven't hit it yet. I just put the question mark. How can Inter Miami beat PSG? Should I put down like in 3 sentences or less? Or just let it
and
do
bullet
like
points or bullet points?
Okay.
I don't use chat GPT too much, so I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I'm assuming you could tell it how you want the results.
Okay, so I put it in bullet points. All right, I'm pressing enter. All right, so let's see what ChatGPT says. So ChatGPT is joining the show. Here are some focus strategies for Inter Miami to beat PSG. Exploit PSG's defensive vulnerabilities on transition. And it gives me a bunch of other stuff. PSG's high pressing leaves midfield spaces. When possession is lost, Inter Miami can hit quick counters, targeting the flanks, especially down the right, where PSG's fullbacks push forward. Target
Hakimi and Nuno push up high, which is what I'm saying. We could take it with Allende on the right and possibly Fafa on the left. Okay.
And it says target midfield control and disrupt PSG's build-up by deploying a compact midfield or man marking Vitina/Ruiz. Miami can choke PSG's rhythm. Steve Cherondolo praised discipline, physical mid-block tactics. Maximize set-piece opportunities. That's another bullet point. I'm not going to read too many details. Free Messi and Suarez to exploit midfield pockets. Listen, ChatGPT's got some ball knowledge.
Yeah,
ChatGPT got notes.
You see those topics? I'm going to start adding ChatGPT right before final thoughts whenever we do a preview.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Neutralize wide threats like Dembele and Hakimi. Play with intensity and team-first pressing. Minimize errors and maintain mental focus. Okay, good job, ChatGPT. You suck.
Okay.
Utilize experienced veterans for game management. Now ChatGPT is just being lazy.
Yeah.
And adapt tactics mid-game. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what's the percentage we win? What's the percentage
Well,
Miami
Sean,
beats
we're doing it
PSG
for fun
on
at the end after we're done with ours. But you'd be surprised how many people use this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. And while you do that, El Canguru, when Miami has the ball, they pass backwards because they don't have the quality to move the ball further ahead. As a Messi fan for 16 years, I'm hurt seeing him play in this team. Well, real quick, if he didn't play for this team, he'd be playing in Saudi. So good luck watching him at all. And I don't think that they pass backwards. I think that last game, for example, Redondo and Segovia were doing a great job of progressing the ball forward. And I thought that it was strategically done when they were playing the counter. And I think that's what they're going to do this game.
I asked ChatGPT what's the percentage. It gave me a bunch of blah, 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 blah. It says estimated win probability based on the available info and predictive modeling. Inter Miami has roughly a 35 to 40% chance to beat PSG on Sunday. That's not a lock, but it's a solid upset possibility, especially with Messi leading the charge.
35 to 40%.
I'm not that far, Papa.
You're not that far. You said 80%.
Look, he's already halfway. Chat Gibbet is already halfway.
That's a lot, Chris. Half is a lot.
Listen, he threw in half. I'm throwing in the other half. We're at 80%, baby. Let's go.
You think Miami have to play direct more? I feel like last match they played too much out of the back and got lucky that they didn't get punished. I don't think that they can do that against PSG. I think that's the only chance they have. I don't think that they and stop it, Nick. I don't think that they can go ahead and necessarily play out. Yes, I think they played a little more out of the back last game, but I don't think that they can go ahead and build up play like they did last game. Because last game they were doing one-touch passes out the back and building it up and holding possession. I don't see that this game. This game is going to be hold your low block and hope that you can find Hakimi or Nuno slipping in the back and beat them on the counter. And shout out to Batata.
Manhosa. Hello, my friends from Brazil here again. Congratulations. What's up, brother? I asked ChatGPT, is it crazy to say that Inter Miami would win 80%? I'm not going to read the response. So let's just end the show. ChatGPT has no idea what they're talking about.
Miami King says low block won't be a solution. All right. Well, as we get out of here, Miami King, if you could please tell us what the solution will be, because the whole point of today was trying to figure out if we were to somehow have a chance, what would we have to do? My opinion, play a low block, get lucky on a counter. That's what
Seismically is saying PSG fan here. Our team is exhausted and not used to playing in the Atlanta Heat. Hakimi, Nuno, and Pacho in particular.
Oh, and yes, thank you for that.
90%.
Thank you for that. Oh, God. Thank you for that, because there is one thing that I did want to bring up that people aren't talking about enough, and that was it. They're exhausted. They're at the end of their season. They just played a Champions League game less than a month ago, the championship. And unfortunately, I couldn't watch back because the zone doesn't let you watch the replays. But when you watch back, Hakimi, from everything that I was reading, looked tired against Seattle. So if he looks tired against Seattle and they've been playing all these games, we're in the middle of our season. We're just hitting our stride now. That could also be an advantage. Is it a huge advantage? Do I think all of a sudden we're going to win like Chris's dumbass is about to say because I see it coming? No, that's not what I'm going to say. But I do think that that's another reason to add a little bit of hope that we can pull off an upset.
Mike V with the greatest words. PSG is cooked. Let's go. Got Ratatouille in the kitchen. Let's get it, baby.
Yeah. And yes, Nuno is I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but Nuno is a very good player.
I've seen a couple good cards on FIFA for him.
All right, Chris. Any final thoughts? And we have our preview show tomorrow with our PSG guest. Again, shout out to Blake for helping us find that person.
90%. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else you could do with that, Danny. 90%.
There's nothing else I can do to that. Well, we'll give our predictions tomorrow when we have our guest on. I'm really interested in that's a 5-0 win that you're about to predict tomorrow. but I guess we'll wait for that. All right. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, even the new ones that I saw, Messi FC, and I saw a couple of other new ones, we appreciate you hanging out with us and contributing. You guys are the best part of the show. We don't just say that. We really mean it. We hope that you keep joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow. And then on Friday, we're going to have a cafecito with the Herons. It's going to be me and Salah on Friday morning. So we're going to keep talking Inter Miami all week long because this is a big week and everybody's excited. I'm excited, even though I am not as confident as Chris. I do enjoy this week because it's a big week. We're a big tournament and we're in the thick of it. So that is all for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. So until the next one, have a good one.
91.